Welcome to a word of hope for the 30th Sunday in Ordinary Time. My name is Father Brendan Curran, Dominican promoter for justice and peace for North America, joining you and welcoming you to our community home here on the west side of Chicago of our Dominican friars. And that's the rub and the point of challenging scriptures this Sunday, this week, for each of us to attempt to be nudged and to live. In the first reading from the book of Exodus, we are reminded that do not oppress the aliens, for you were once aliens like yourselves in Egypt. Woo! Do not oppress the aliens. And then that gospel story really gets us. The greatest commandment of all, love God with all of your heart, soul, and mind. And the second part, even harder, love your neighbor as yourselves. Love your neighbor? So it's not just about my family, not just about my loved ones and best friends. The gospel is calling us to go far more deeper into and throughout our community. Love your neighbor as yourself. Welcome the alien. You were once strangers like them in the land of Egypt. Here on the west side of Chicago, here in our communities across northern United States, we're all challenged to deal with, accept, and embrace our new neighbors. Here in Chicago, 10 to 15 buses a day arrive from border towns in Texas and beyond. Most of them Venezuelan new arrivals. How do we feel inspired continuously in finding ways to embrace our new neighbors, while at the same side, in same ways, embracing where we have been in our struggles ourselves? For some of us, a few generations. For others of us, maybe 10 or 20 years as well. Jesus and our gospel calls each of us to go deeper. You are called and we are mandated to love our neighbor as ourselves. And to be reminded from the book of Exodus, you were also strangers yourselves and held as aliens in a foreign land of Egypt. That's the challenge for each of us today. How do we be good neighbors? How do we welcome one another to be the neighbors who belong to each of us? There's plenty of work to be done around us, but today, this week, we're called, each of us, how do we share the gospel love of being a good neighbor for our world? So let's welcome one another. Come on into my house, and let's live that out with our words and actions. Make that hopeful for our world. Come on in.